Welcome back to the channel. It's me, Sherwin, and Jason again. And today we have another new launch review. But we'll do a slightly different concept because I haven't done my homework on Faber. But Jason has done it and he's in charge of the project as well for our company. So it will be a Q&A format where I'll be asking him questions that I will want to know as a consumer related to the project and whether it is a project worth buying. And if it is a project worth buying, who will the buyers be? Will they be investor, homeowners, or anything else? We will leave it for Jason to describe to us. So without further ado, let me just ask Jason, are you able to tell me some facts, basic facts about the project?
Okay, so basic facts about the project for Faber Residence. This will be a low-rise development. There are 9 blocks of about 5 stories per level. I mean, five levels, 9 blocks of 5 levels. Total units will be 399 units. So what's unit type will range from 2 to 5 bedroom configurations. What's unique about this development as compared to a lot of the other developments in the area is that this is a very low density type project because we are situated within the landed enclave. So we can't build too tall as well. So that's why it's a 5-story high development.
So there's a height.
Yes.
Height restriction.
So we are looking at about 270,000+ square feet worth of space. And then we have only 399 units to share this space. Yeah. So it's very, very low density.
Given the land size, okay, because we just did a video on Penrith, right?
Yeah.
The land size comparison is so much more different.
Yes.
And Penrith has more units.
Yes.
Yeah. So if okay, just based on what you have shared, if I'm someone looking to enjoy like facilities, more own stay element, this would be something that I would consider lah.
Yeah.
Okay. So when does it TOP?
So Penrith, So for Faber Residences, it's estimated to TOP in first quarter of 2029. Of course, on paper, it's 31st December 2030, but nowadays, building quite fast. So we are anticipating first quarter 2029. Now, in terms of the other hard facts for this development as well, 399 units will also come with 399 car park.
Oh, 1:1.
Yes, so it's 1:1, and then there will be 13 EV lots ready for the development.
That's quite rare nowadays to see 1:1. Usually it's like 70, 80%, some of it even 60%.
Yeah, I think also partly because this development is really more own stay centric rather than investor centric. So with own stay centric, developers are also foreseeing that most of these families will thrive, and then that's why they probably want to do a one-to-one kind of provision.
Okay, so quickly before we dive more into the analysis, right? Can you tell me some of the unique selling point with regards to Faber Residence and who do you see as the ideal buyer profile for this project?
Okay, so I can bet you my last dollar that during the show flat preview itself, one of the most talked about USPs will be the fact that this Faber Residence is within 1 km to Nan Hua. And fun fact, Nan Hua is actually one of the top 3 primary schools in Singapore. So even the alumni tend to need within 1 km in order to secure a very good chance of getting into the primary school. Yeah, so this is I think the main reason that, it's own stay centric. People are definitely going to veer towards securing a unit here for main purpose of getting their kids into Nan Hua. Right. Then the second thing is that this is a very low density project, as I mentioned earlier. So if you compare it with a lot of projects in the vicinity like Twinview, Whistler Grand, and even a bit further away like your Clairvaughn, Cameron Canopy, and the most recent Alta, you would find that these are all very high-rise, tall developments. It doesn't give you that same kind of tranquility and space that you may want to, prefer to live in a more quiet environment facing the park connector with waterfront living. Yeah, so that is the second USP I would say would be for Faber Residence. And the last USP I would say, of course, is the fact that this developer is reputable. So this is a project done by Guoco, right? So as we all know, Guoco project
everywhere.
Yes, Guoco is a brand name. So it's a joint venture by Guoco, Hong Leong, TID. So when you speak of the Guoco brand name, you know that Guoco is synonymous with value, with quality, and with reliability. So I would say this also is a very strong selling.
Yeah, Guoco recently really does. They have a lot of projects.
Yes, it's the most recent one being Springleaf. That sold about 92+% on launch weekend. So it's again something that I have absolute confidence in terms of how the product would turn out at the end.
Actually quite excited to see how they design and everything. But before we move on into that, right? Let's talk about location and surrounding, because you mentioned it's like a waterfront living, it's more exclusive. So is the location compromised in a certain way? Since because Singapore is small, right? If you are at somewhere quiet or what, then you will be away from the crowd and the amenities. What about Faber Residence?
So for Faber Residence, of course, I would say in the first thing is that Faber Residence is situated within a landed enclave, right? So if it's situated within a landed enclave, you have height restrictions. You also expect that there would be a lot of, I would say, a lot of roads, a lot of walking. Thankfully, is that because Faber Residence is located more towards one corner of the whole landed estate. So it's the corner that's right next to the AYE, right? But the developers have also very smartly positioned the blocks to mitigate the noise as much as possible, and also place more of the facilities towards the fringe, thereby pushing back the blocks even
So the
further.
setback will be quite wide.
So there will be quite a decent setback,
But what about the connectivity?
Yeah, so in terms of the connectivity as well, we have firstly is the upcoming Jurong Regional Line. The Jurong Town Hall Station is actually about 8 to 10 minutes walk
When
away.
will it be ready?
This will be ready before the project POP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So it's 8 to 10 minutes walk.
Yes, 8 to 10 minutes walk. I mean, on paper, it's about 800 meters. I envisage maybe some people might mind the walking, our
Because of the hot
Singaporeans.
sun, right?
Yeah, because of the hot sun, and we are next to the park connector. It's a bit challenging to be fully sheltered all the way to the MRT station. Nevertheless, you'll also be happy to know that right in front of our project, actually, there's also a bus stop. And this will be fully sheltered from our development. It's about 2 to 3 minutes walk out to the bus stop. And this bus stop, there's also a opposite bus stop. So bus stop on both sides. So this bus stop on our side, it will bring you down to town and to the educational institutions. And then the opposite direction, it will bring you up to Jurong area.
Okay. But in terms of the other amenities like coffee shops or whatsoever, there will be slight compromise.
Yes, that is undisputed. There will be some slight compromise. And I think it is also important to remember that, if we had all these amenities right at our doorstep, or perhaps even an integrated mall right at our doorstep, then in terms of pricing, there will also be a difference.
So right? Based on what you say, we can expect the developer to launch at a more favorable price.
Yes. And I think the past record would show, right? We mentioned about Springleaf. So for Springleaf situation, Springleaf was more of they didn't have a school. They had the MRT at doorstep. They had some minimal amenities
also
on the
from the
opposite side.
Yeah,
also from the landed area. But that's really about it. But the project still sold well. Very, very well.
Price. So price is an important factor for Singapore.
So you'll be happy to know that hearsay is that the developers are trying to kind of follow the Springleaf kind of pricing.
Okay, if you could share a bit on the Springleaf entry price, how did the developers start their price from? Okay,
so for the Springleaf entry price, the developers did a very good entry price of below 1M, but that's because they had one bidders for Springleaf. So that's why the pricing wise, there was it's unheard of in today's market 2025 to find an entry price at below 1M. But even if, let's say, we were to talk about the two-bidder entry prices, Springleaf two-bidder entry prices were going at about 1.0 something to 1.1 something. But again, that's for the two-bed, one bath, which our Faber Residence does not have. So if we compare apples to apples, we are talking about two-bed, two-bath onwards. It's just nice also 646 square feet for both. Layouts are very similar as well to the Springleaf layout. And I've seen the Springleaf layout. It's really a very comfortable kind of efficient layout, I would say, for the two bidders. So they were going in at about 1.3-ish, which, in today's market, 1.3-ish, you're getting a one bidder in some other condos.
It's considered cheap for 1.3.
That's right.
Okay. So what are the standout feature or design for the condo, right? That you say that you feel would differentiate itself from the surrounding or the rest of the project nearby? Because I understand that they have such a huge land size, and so the number of units is so limited. Meaning that their facilities would be amazing, right?
Yeah, so actually they have positioned more or less 3 rows of blocks, and then in between the 3 rows of blocks they have done the facilities. You can take a reference to the site plan. So we have one side having the waterfront facing, and then the middle blocks having the pool facing, and then the other middle is actually a lot of the courtyards, the open green spaces. So there's a very kind of quiet and a bit like a landed style.
It's like a resort feel. Okay,
Yeah.
if I don't know, I would think that this is a cluster landed.
Yeah.
Looks like a cluster landed.
Yes.
Yeah, with more facilities. So they even have like is that a sunken tennis court?
Yes, so that's a sunken multi-purpose court, right? We don't want to specifically say it's for tennis because now pickleball is all the in thing now,
Yes.
right? So they have also taken that into consideration in terms of the noise, and then they have done a sunken court this time round. Then the gym and communal area facilities you can see is also located at the site that is on the AYE. So you can see also from this map, as what I mentioned earlier, right? The AYE, between the AYE and the blocks, there's actually also this green
And all the
to
trees
help you to mitigate away some of the noise. Yeah, and also there's some acoustic treatment to some of the units, the blocks that are closer to the AYE.
Actually, if I didn't know better and I just look at the site plan itself, I would thought this project have at least 1,000 units. Because it reminds me of like Treasure at Tampines or Florence Residences, where they have so many blocks spread across the development and so many facilities as well.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So these facilities actually are really your typical facilities. The developer is not shortchanging you. It's all the typical facilities that you will find in any of the condos in the vicinity as well, with the added park connector at the doorstep. And the Sungai Ulu Pandan waterfront.
That will be the best facing.
Yeah, that will be the best facing. So you can see the 4-beders, 5-beders, a lot of them are flanking the waterfront as well.
Since you mentioned the 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom, how is the unit mix curated? Because earlier on you mentioned that they don't have a 1-bedroom, there's no 2-bed, 1-bath.
Yes.
So what is the breakdown of the unit mix, and are there any specific consideration by the developer, right, when they choose to break down their unit types as such?
Yeah, so as mentioned, the unit types breakdown, this is one of the rare developments you'll find that no 1-beders, okay, no 1-beders not very rare nowadays, right? But no 1-beders, but in the 2-beders only comprises 20% of the whole development.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and 3-beders makes up 50% of the whole development. 3-beders alone makes up 50% of the whole development. 4-beders makes up 25%, and lastly 5-beders 5%. So you can see that this is not going to be your typical, part investor project and part.
Sorry, I will interrupt a bit. Is it the same for Springleaf?
No, it's not the same for Springleaf. So for Springleaf, there was an abundance of, in fact, even the 2-bed, 1-bath layout, because I think for Springleaf, the developer was taking a different approach of making sure that enough people, our younger generation, they have the means, the financial means to enter in. So I do have quite a number of young clients who took the opportunity of Springleaf's pricing to enter in the 2-bed.
So the appeal would be very different based on how the developer create the unit mix.
I would say so. And I think it's very clear cut here that the developers are trying to appeal to rely on the Nanhua primary as an appeal factor and create a lot of family living space. Yeah, a lot of family layout living space. So 3-beders we have starting from 797 square feet, and take note that this is one of the first few post-harmonization projects, so this will not include the aircon latch space. If you include in, it's probably about a 850, 860 square footage, slightly smaller than your typical 4-room HDB flat, but still very livable with 3 bedrooms.
Springleaf, same size, performed very well, right?
Yes. Springleaf, in fact, all the 3-beders were more or less sold out by the launch weekend. Also because of the way that our Walkthrough has done their loyalty program and their sales. So it really created a very good...
Plays a big part.
Yes, it does plays a big part, the whole marketing positioning.
And I do believe layout as well, which we will dive into now. Because when we talk about 797, for those that have yet to visit Springleaf Show Flat, even for me, I had my doubts, right? When they first announced 797 square feet, 3-bedder, or rather the bigger one, 818 square feet. It's only when I step in and I have a look and I realize, wow, actually this layout makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Especially for younger family or smaller family. And the entry price is very affordable.
Yeah.
But you can start with, like, you mentioned the 2-bed, 2-bath.
Yes. So let me start with the 2-bed, 2-bath. I love Coco's 2-bed, 2-bath layout. And I sold it. I think a lot of people were very captivated when I was presenting it at Springleaf. So first and foremost, it's very squarish. When you come into the unit, you do not even have any walkway space, so to speak. You can see here, that's one. There's no walkway space, but the way that they position the door and the way they position the side wall, you can see from this floor plan on the right, you still have potential to build cabinetry space for your shoes, right? Additional space. Then the kitchen, they have also done this where it flanks the wall. So you have the option of your dining area being part of this kitchen area as well. If let's say you have guests over, you have a small group of 6 to 8 people, you can open up the table and actually position it vertically instead of right the way that they position it now. That's one, right? And then another thing is the wall-to-wall distance. In most of the two-bedders in today's market, you'll notice that the wall-to-wall distance in the living area is only about 2.6 to 2.8.
Yes.
2.8 being the most common. So here they're giving you 3.
I think this is one of the things that impressed me the most. I think you were the one that told me when we went to visit Springleaf to go and look at the 2-bed, 2-bath, how big or how wide the living room
and it
space
plays
is.
such a big part.
Yes, because
the way that it has been
all the clients that I've brought down to view Springleaf, they actually love how wide that is rather than narrow. Like you mentioned, a lot of new launch now or even the older resale, it is just 2.6 meters.
This rectangulish living dining area kitchen really cannot be understated, because when you go down to the show flat, you can really see. Of course, unfortunately, because this is only 20% of all the unit types here, we don't have the actual show flat.
But we have a cheat for you. Follow us to Springleaf. We show you the Springleaf layout, and you can have a view of it. If you really are serious in considering a 2-bed, 2-bath in the area, we try to be creative sometimes for our clients, because we know that there's show flat have its limitation. They can't build all the way to the 5-bedroom. So they will only showcase a few which they think would
be the most, and you see again, this drives the point as well that developers are really centering and focusing on families. That's why they have the 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, and even the 5% of 5-bedroom they also build.
But we are here to give you solutions. So can you tell me more about, since you say the 3-bedroom is forms up like 50%, right? I believe there are like multiple layouts. Maybe you can just start with
the smallest. I'll start with the smallest, 797 square feet layout. So this is the 3-bedder dumbbell layout, all right? The pros is that with the dumbbell layout, you have 1 bedroom on one side, so with the 1 bedroom on one side, effectively you save a bit of the common corridor space leading to the bedrooms. So this effectively helps you to save on square footage and helps to make the entry price a bit lower as well, right? You do have an enclosable kitchen. Of course, the downside for this kind of layout is that they are unfortunately unable to fit windows in the toilet, so it will be mechanical ventilation, and the kitchen also would be induction because there's no window there.
But
so
the
it's a
price
pros and cons
would be...
but the entry price, if you are looking at what the developers have priced Springleaf at, and we're taking that as a reference point, it really can be as cheap as perhaps 1.7 million.
Oh, okay.
And 1.7 million, frankly, is almost like your EC.
Some EC is more expensive than
price.
1.7. Okay. Next moving on, we have the 818.
So if you don't like the dumbbell layout, then you can go for the traditional L-shaped layout. Then this will give you your 818 square feet. But your 818 square feet, take note then, of course, the kitchen, it will be an open concept style. So this may not be something that...
But there's a window there, right?
Yes,
so does that mean that is stove?
So it will most likely be stove cooking.
Okay. But this one is for maybe Chinese, appeal to Chinese more, because you walk in, there's like a small 玄关.
Yes.
Rather than going in straight away, see your balcony. Some Chinese just don't like it.
But some people, families, they cannot accept open kitchen.
So pros and cons.
But no worries, we have plenty of different layouts for the 3 bedrooms, as I mentioned, 50% of the units. So if you don't like that, then you can also consider the next unit type, 861 square feet. So for this 861 square feet, this would be a bit similar to, I would say, the Springleaf 904 square feet, which was super popular. There were only 2 stacks. This one don't have the show flat.
Same. If you want to view, follow us to Springleaf.
But a bit different also, because for this 861 square feet, right, it's also a dumbbell layout. Whereas for the Springleaf one, it was the typical L-shaped layout. So that's a small difference like that. So this 861, that one was 904. But for this one, you can see it's a bit, because of the wall there and the flex room, it's a bit a possibility to enclose. And then the flex room was something that a lot of people think flex room, because we see it quite commonly, and then the flex room very small, so you can't really do much with it. But Guaco has done it. It is similar to the 904 square feet Springleaf. Guaco has done it such that the flex room is a really usable space. Some of the clients even had the idea of halving the flex room so that one half can be like a small storage storeroom, and then the other half can be a small study space.
Because the width itself is 2.4 meters. Then the length itself is around 1.9. Yeah, so even if you want to make it into a guest room, you can put a sofa bed inside.
Yeah.
Still doable.
Yeah. Definitely doable because of the 2.4. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so this would be our 861 square feet unit. Then you look at the next bedroom type. This will be more bearing towards what HDB upgraders will be very familiar with. We have your typical 3 bedrooms with household shelter, with wet kitchen, with dry kitchen, and this one has an additional perk, which is that they have a powder room.
This is something that Guaco does a lot.
Yes.
They always have a powder room at the
near the entrance. And then a lot of people say it's useful, because you come back, first thing you need to do, either you need to wash your feet, or when guests come, you wash your feet, or you need to quickly use the toilet, or if let's say you walk your dogs, come back, you need to wash their feet as well. The toilet is just there.
Appeal to pet lover like us. I think between us, we have like 4 pets, 4 dogs.
More than that.
Yeah.
There's also another 3 bedroom unit type. Right, this is the 1044 square feet. This one has a flex room as well as the household shelter also. So you have both customizable. One can be used as storeroom, one can be used as a walk-in wardrobe or a study.
Not much of a difference. 1033, 1044.
Yeah.
11 square feet difference. Yeah.
Okay, then we go to the 4-bedder. Now the 4-bedder, the entry-level 4-bedder is 1119 square feet. So again, if we are talking about price point, right, we are probably looking at like a 2.3, 2.4.
Oh, for 4-bedroom.
For 4-bedroom. If you just do a quick search on how much 100 pumps 4-bedrooms are going for right now, as a resale EC pricing, they are going for as high as 2.7, maybe even 2.8. Like I had a client, a teammate's client who bought earlier this year at 2.6 plus. Yeah, so
for resale EC.
For resale
and
EC
10
4-bedder.
years already.
Yes. Whereas our brand new 4-bedder, we are going at potentially 2.3, 2.4. And you see this 4-bedder, this is also something that is a Guaco signature. The 4th bedroom is always this potential with the wall that's removable, so that if you don't really need the 4-bedroom, you want the 4th bedroom to be a study, you have the option of making your whole living space look bigger.
Understand.
Right, and then fully enclosed kitchen, you have the household shelter, and then you also have one of the, like a junior master at the bedroom.
Actually, one thing I would jam over here is I'd rather they not have this powder room and less corridor space, and they put a Jack and Jill beside bedroom 3 and bedroom 4.
Yeah.
Then that would make more sense to me.
Yes.
Yeah, but then again, this is the way that the developer built it.
It's also partly because of the need to, position it in a way where if you look at the location of this stack is actually at the corner, so they probably have some design restrictions.
Okay, that's why they must build it.
Yeah,
okay.
So they need to build it, and then at the same time they give you the Shenguan that matters to some people.
Must be understanding lah. They sell it so cheap already. Then they must still build a very nice design.
So if you like the 4-bedder but you prefer the slightly larger, without the Shenguan, right? Then you consider the next size, which is the 1216. So the 1216 4-bedder. Yeah, this is a dumbbell. Very nice, I would say. He has both the wet and the dry kitchen, right? The household shelter is located opposite the bedroom 4. And the bedroom 4 again has the removable wall that you can, then you have a very nice landscape layout. And take note also, the location for this layout is actually facing the waterfront. So you just imagine if you open up the bedroom 4 and use it as a study, and then your living space, you also open it up.
Close to 6 meters.
It'll be very, very nice. Yes, it's actually close to 6 meters worth of frontage, waterfront frontage. And even without opening it up, you notice all the bedrooms and the living rooms, they will all enjoy this view.
They face the same direction.
Yeah, they all face the same direction. And then same thing, you have your powder room near the entrance.
But one thing I noticed, sorry, I just had to nitpick. There's no windows, right? For the kitchen and for the bathroom.
Yes, there's no windows for the kitchen and the bathroom. Again, it's of course due to the position of the stacks. You know, so this position is in the middle.
So this might be one of the objections
Yeah.
you would most likely face on the ground, because as a consumer,
Mm.
when I go in and see, oh, it's designed so nicely, next thing I will go and see is, a kitchen, why is it induction?
Yeah.
Yeah, then toilet, why is there no windows?
Mm.
Then in such a case, then maybe the 4-bedroom basic would make more sense to me.
Yeah.
Because even for the 4-bedroom basic, right, the junior master is attached to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just some point that me myself personally, I'm more particular, especially when I serve upgraders. Yeah, so that's just my 2 cents lah.
Okay, but then I will say go for the next layout.
Okay.
So there's also another layout for the 4-bedroom type. Not a lot bigger, just 1270 square feet. Then this will be your corner unit. This will be your traditional L-shaped layout, both the wet and dry kitchen. It also has waterfront facing snack. And then you also have the same thing where you can have the wide frontage if you remove the 4th-bedroom wall, right? And then your toilets would have windows. Of course, the common bath here, they didn't manage to fit a window in.
Yeah. So
But
the size will be around 50
the master
square
has
feet difference.
master has window.
Size is around 50 square feet difference.
50 square feet difference.
Okay,
So
but now I look at it, right? Sorry to interrupt. I think the way they build it this way so that they get all the bigger facing unit all facing the best view.
yes,
Yeah.
they do. So you can just see very clearly from this site plan, right? Yeah, that all the, I
Big
would
unit
say
types.
the 8 or 12 unit types. I mean, the one on the left, that block that's closest to the AYE, they would have the smaller unit
units
types
lah.
as well. But if you really talk about the most premium waterfront 8 units front facing one, right? Yeah, they are mainly the larger unit types.
Okay, and lastly,
And lastly, of course, the
Bigger
creme
type.
de la creme is the 5-bedroom unit type. So 5-bedroom unit type, they have also done it with a bit of a dumbbell layout style still, you know, and this is a very nice and very luxurious kitchen area. You know, you just imagine this wet kitchen where the wordings is.
yeah,
The entire thing is space. It's just space. Yes.
it is.
So it's a lot of space. And then again, you have the option of opening up the 5th bedroom in this case. And you have a junior master on one side, and then you have the other bedrooms on the other side. But also, even with the 5-bedroom unit type, really it's because of the design element due to the height and the number of stacks that they need to squeeze in, right? They are also unable to fit windows for all the toilets. Yeah, in this case, the master has
One
window.
toilet.
Yeah.
Only the common doesn't have toilet.
Yeah, but the kitchen has a window, right? So the common doesn't have, the junior master also doesn't have. It's more mechanical ventilation.
Okay, I understand. Okay. But okay, the bigger layout, they usually have the best designer. So it's a matter of money. If you have money, you can have everything. Yeah, you can have view, you can have the best layout. But really nothing to hiam for this 5-bedroom, other than the fact which Jason just mentioned. No windows lah, but we have to learn to live with things.
So this 5-bedroom, they already did dumbbell to cut your corridor space. They also put 1 bedroom on the other side. So really, you don't have a very long walkway corridor space.
Okay, then moving on, right? How you mentioned about the entry price. Later we'll do our price matrix now, so you can compare starting from 2001. What are your thoughts all the way to
I would
2000?
say, because it's only 5 floors, so expect that every floor loading to be more significant than, let's say, if it's a high-rise development.
So maybe around 10,000.
Maybe around 10 to 15K, depending on the
15K.
unit type.
So
right?
2001 to
So I would
2004.
say
is
it's
that?
2001 to 2003.
Okay,
maybe.
but we will do a
Yeah.
price matrix for you to see 2001 all the way to 2005. Just for a reference, it's an estimated based on
Yes.
Jason's best guess. But developer will release more information and we'll share more with you. Then next question, how does this entry price for Faber Residence, right, compare with other new launches or resale in the area?
So I would say, first, let's compare resale in the area, right? So if we talk about resale in the area, we have the 5 most recent resale condos in a very near vicinity within the, also having the, enjoying the good radius to Nanhua Primary. We have the most recent one being Park Clementes. Now, Park Clementes, this is a high-rise development, and their 3 bidders have already touched 2,600 PSF. You know, averaging at about 2,200 plus PSF. So if you look at Park Clementes, basically if you buy into Faber Residence, you are buying a brand new product by a reputable developer at yesterday's pricing. You know, then we also have Whistler Grand. Whistler Grand is also already transacting at about 1,009 plus, with some transactions crossing 2,000 for the 3-bedroom unit type. So just these 2 projects alone, you can actually see that the 3-bedroom unit types generally has a very significant value that a lot of families, because they need the Nanhua primary, the record PSF are all coming from the 3-bedroom unit types. Then we move on to Park Rivera and the Tri-Link. These two are slightly older, but even then, they are also transacting at about, for Tri-Link, it's about $2 million averaging for a 3-bedder, right? And then for Park Rivera, we are also having an average of about close to 1.6, with the high of about close to 1.8. And then lastly, our neighbor Waterfront at Faber. So this is actually a very small development, and if you were to go and look at firstly the site plan and secondly the floor plans, you would realize why this development may not be so popular. And I would say, because this development is not so popular, then if let's say somebody wants, they don't like high rise, they have fear of heights, there are really clients like that. They prefer low density, low rise living. Then between the two projects, Faber Residence will really stand out. Yeah, so for Waterfront at Faber, it's like all the facilities right in the middle, and then there's multiple blocks circling around the facilities. That's one. So you have some units with East Sun, West Sun. Yeah, basically, you have units facing all different directions. Okay, that's one. Two is that in terms of layout wise, the unit types here, they are actually having high ceiling. So a lot of the unit
Isn't high ceiling good?
a lot of the unit types, trust me, you wouldn't want to climb up and down. I've been to
I have my answer.
I've been to my client's house, where their bedroom is a high ceiling, and I really pity them climbing up and down every day to go to bed.
Even
and
the
then,
loft concept,
yes,
it looks nice, right? But it doesn't perform that well in the resale market.
they sit up, it's like the ceiling is almost touching their head.
But okay, the thing about loft and everything is when you go to a show flat, it looks really, really, really.
Okay, I think you need to distinguish between the 6-meter kind of loft
and the 4.5
to 4.5 meter type of loft, right?
Yeah.
The 6 meter type of loft, in your living dining area, while it looks very grand,
it's like a separate level, like a penthouse.
But these are like high ceiling in the bedroom.
Yeah, so you don't really maximize that high ceiling.
Yeah, and when your bedroom size is so small, it's like small area but high ceiling.
Correct.
It's very weird.
Because you go in straight away, got the stairs going up, ease into the space already.
Yeah.
Hey, just want to know we are on the same page for this lot thing.
Yeah, so overall, I would say in terms of past pricing, really Faber Residence is very well positioned in terms of price point. Now, if we talk about apples to apples, we talk about all the new launches in the area as well. In the similar district, we have Alta. Now, Alta has already averaging about 2.5 for their 2-bedders, 2.6 for their 3-bedders, and so on. So it's already 2.5, 2.6 range already, and they sold very well. Their 2-bedders are more or less sold out also. Then for Linden Woods, it was a sell-out project,
crazy.
right? It was a sell-out project as well. Even with this sell-out project, we are talking about 2.3, 2.4 PSF averaging as well. So with Faber Residence, if let's say the developers are really launching at about 2.1, 2.2, that kind of range, then I would say very well positioned pricing. One of the cheapest for 2025 after Springleaf.
Then what do you think the developer pricing strategy would be? Because Guaco, right, for Springleaf and a few other of their projects, they did employ some interesting pricing strategy. And would it be the same for Faber? Have you heard anything?
Yes, so for Faber, they're also going to employ the same pricing strategy. And I think they really have this very ingenious marketing style to make sure that people carry on the buy into the Guaco brand name. So every time when you buy into a Guaco project, moving forward, you will be considered their loyal customers. This is the same for Hong Leong as well. So you will be considered their loyal customer. And if let's say the next product that you buy or your spouse, basically tier 1 relationship or your children buy, generally you will be able to enjoy the choose first.
Okay. So everyone will ballot, but you will get a chance.
Everyone will ballot. The public preview, they will book on Saturday, but the loyalty customers, they will book on Friday.
They will 1 day earlier.
Yeah, they'll book 1 day earlier. But of course, Guaco is also very fair to those who are not under this loyalty program. They usually will not open up everything for the buyer. So if I use Springleaf as an example, let's say they have 2 stacks with the same facing, same size, perhaps mirror image, they will block out one and they will open one for the VIP, so that there's at least one more stack for the public as well.
Ensure fairness.
Yes, to ensure fairness. So when they advertise and they say that their prices start from this. They want to make sure that when the public comes and the public chooses, they still have access to that kind of price range
So
as well.
does it mean, okay, if I don't own a Guaco property now, but I own it like 20 years ago, does it still apply?
Yes, so it still applies. We have actually a list of Guaco and Hongyang projects. If you want, reach out to us. We can go through this with you. All the way back from the older projects as well, they will recognize.
As long as you can show proof,
yes, as long as you can show proof that you were once an owner.
Yeah.
And surprisingly as well, it's not only the owners who bought from Guaco. So there are also owners who perhaps are now living in Guaco, but perhaps they bought subsale. Or they bought resale. So if they are still living in a Guaco or Hongyang project that the
doesn't have to be
recognize, you don't have to be first hand. You will still enjoy that loyalty program as well.
If you are unsure, you can speak to us and we can help you verify whether you qualify for this special treatment. Okay. With that being said, okay, let's talk about long-term value and exit strategy. What do you think are the key drivers of appreciation for this project or this area itself?
So I would say for this area, this project is really the Nanhua Primary. I think it is a fact that a lot of projects that have these reputable schools within 1 km, the value will always be there, the value will always hold. And families, once they are done, they don't need the Nanhua Primary anymore. They will then move on somewhere else, and then the next person coming in will probably be buying. I would say majority of the time is for the same reason as well. So that would be one of the main driving factors, right? The pull factors. And then I think Faber Residence really offers an alternative type of living as compared to all the high-rise condos that's already situated in the Clementi area. So if you're talking about some people who prefer low-rise, perhaps some of the landed owners even, they are so used to landed living, they are so used to low density, they want quietness, tranquility, then they may actually prefer this kind of setup rather than your typical high-rise like Twinview and Park Clementi's. Because these setups typically have a lot of one-bedders, two-bedders, a lot of high movement in terms of renters as well, tenants.
And what about the rental demand? How do you anticipate rental performance? Because you keep mentioning this is a own stay area. What do you think would be the tenant profile for the location? For me, I feel it might be from the second CBD, but that's just based on my limited understanding. How do you feel the rental demand?
Yeah, so I definitely agree because Faber is actually already very close to the Jurong Township and the Jurong Lake District transformation area. So I would foresee also that there will be people who are working in Jurong who would also be looking at the Clementi projects for rent. Since there's only 20% of two-bedders.
And Jurong is not cheap,
Yeah, and Jurong is not cheap either, Jurong, in fact, a lot of the projects are more expensive than Faber Residence pricing. So they will look at this place, probably also because with let's say there are definitely still investors who may buy into this product. The investors who are looking to rent this out, entering at a lower price point, they also will be able to then take in at a slightly lower rental price quantum as well, right? As versus, let's say, your 2526 PSF Alta development, right? And also, if you can see from what we have put out here, the most recent few projects that I've mentioned earlier, they are all closing rental at higher than the district's overall average rental yield of 2.99%. So Park Clementi's at 3.54, Whistler Grand at 4, Park Rivera also 4, Triling also close to 3.7. Even Waterfront is also at about 3.3. Of course, Waterfront being the lowest, as I mentioned, I would really say layout was an issue.
One common thing with this four that you just mentioned is they are not close to MRT. So I don't see MRT being a very huge objection.
Yes. In fact, I think because the bus stop is so near to the project, right? And a lot of these buses from the AYE, they will have stops along all the educational institutions like your NUS, your ECS.
So you do see students as a profile renting.
I do
those
see
that are studying
students potentially,
masters.
also renting here. And then I would definitely see families who need the Nanhua address renting here as well.
And as you're coming to the end, of course, I still have to ask you this because you try to be as neutral as possible. From a risk and consumer consideration standpoint, what objections do you foresee buyers might have, and how would you address them? Or maybe rather, from me hearing you present the project in such a manner, right? I I'll tell you my concerns. The first would be, I just mentioned, accessibility. And second would be the road noise. And the third would be the exit strategy seems to be Nanhua as the only pull factor for the area. How would you respond to that?
So we talk about accessibility, right? Your first point. So again, the accessibility wise, I think MRT is something that there will be people who would be able to accept walking to the MRT station at Jurong Town. I mean, look at the Dairy Farm area, right? Dairy Farm Residences, even Botany is fully sold out. Botany is even further. Once when I visited the show flat, I tried to walk to the MRT station and I gave up halfway and walked back to the show flat. So I think definitely there are still people who are able to accept this kind of location and one-to-one car park lot. So even the developers also anticipate that a lot of the people here will drive, and those people who don't drive are probably the kids. If it's the kids, if let's say they are young, they are studying at Nanhua, they can just walk. It's actually a very safe landed area to walk to school. If let's say they are slightly older, they can take the bus. So bus is also another option, not just the MRT station, right? So that's accessibility of first point. What's your second point?
Second point would be the traffic noise.
So the traffic noise, actually, if you're talking about, we are located in a landed enclave, is as quiet as it gets for the inner blocks. So for the outer blocks, as I mentioned earlier, we already orientate. Firstly, you look at the blocks near the AYE, right? None of them face the AYE.
Not directly.
Yeah, not directly. It's all by the side. And there's also a green buffer zone to help to mitigate some of the noise. And then lastly is that they also have some acoustic treatment over here. Yeah. So currently, there's also no requirements from the authorities to make sure that they have your usual acoustic blinds to block off the noise as well. And this is also an indication because Springleaf had the same kind of issue where Springleaf was next to SLE. And again, we were told also that there's no need for the acoustic blinds at this point in time. Only when the development is nearing its completion, then authorities come and check in. If let's say it's really
so there'll be an acceptable noise level. As long as they are below that, then it'll be fine. If not, the other alternative is you buy the inside facing.
Just buy the inside one. There are so many inside blocks here. So
depending on how sensitive you are, because those maybe only like 15 or 20 units are closer to AYE.
Exactly.
The rest are apart.
Yeah, so you see, it's only these last, I would say these last four. So 4, 8, 12, it's only these 12 stacks I feel maybe a bit noisier, but besides that, actually most of them are more towards inside already.
Okay, then the last objection which I have would be, you mentioned the USP over and over again, right? It's Nanhua Primary School. Other than that being that the main pull factor, right? Are there any other things that will attract buyer into this project other than Nanhua? Because Nanhua itself, is it strong enough for people to consider buying into in the future?
Okay, I think one of the points that I bring up Nanhua is because a lot of as I mentioned earlier, right, Nanhua is one of those primary schools that you really need the 1 km. So when you really need the 1 km, right, you are also limited by choice. The other projects in the same landed enclave are quite old. I mean, one is quite old, the other one don't have the preferred layout types, I would say. So leaving this Faber Residence to be the top out of the 3 choices, I would say. Right, that's one. 2 is that if we look at other areas as well, like with schools, again in the west side, let's talk about, let's say, Henry Park. And let's talk about perhaps even Nanyang Primary. So these areas have condos that are within 1 km to the schools, and they have also constantly had very good transactional value. So for example, for Nanyang, I have clients who are staying at the Shelford, and I have also clients who are looking at buying a unit at the Shelford. So I have one interesting client who was renting at Shelford. Very sweet, but people still want, because they want the fact that it's near to.
So do you classify this type of buyers as emotional buyers?
Not emotional, they need it.
Okay, a need.
Yeah, it's
so
a need.
Die must have.
Yeah, it's a need.
Okay.
So and the unique thing about the Shelford, if I didn't recall wrongly, is that it's within 1 km to Nanyang Primary. It's also within 1 km to Raffles Circle's Skyway.
Okay.
So it is really
Shelford, is it a walk up? I can't remember.
No, got lift, but it's a low rise also.
It's a very sweet project. Okay, it's not sweet.
No, it's nice. I went to see it before.
It's just very
old. A bit older, but with larger floor plates. But it's still a very nice project actually.
Okay. So to sum it all up, do you think there are other risks and considerations which me myself, right, haven't highlight that you would like to let consumers know before they even commit to Faber Residence?
So I think this is not your usual swanky high-rise developments, especially if you look at the upcoming 3 other projects like Sky, 40 stories, Penrith also 40 stories, and then lastly Zion. Zion, this one is like 62 stories. So these are all your super high-rise, high skyscrapers, but Faber is really a very different product. In terms of price point as well, entry price point is very different from the others as well. But I would say amongst the 4 projects, in terms of just purely looking at a price point angle, I would say Faber is really one of the safest really, because you are really going in 2025 to I wouldn't even talk about because it's a boutique project, because this is not a boutique project. It is by unknown developer. This is by a reputable developer, because there are developments out there with very low PSF, but it's also because boutique project, not much interest and all that. But this is a Guapo project with very sizable 399 units, with very large land size, and very good and efficient layout. So they already kind of tick most of the checkboxes. And I mean, seriously, if let's say this was doorstep to MRT and doorstep to
Then
the
it'll be
mall just
2007
opposite,
PSF.
no way you will get it at 2122 PSF.
Yeah,
right?
so the strongest reason to sum it up to buy or commit would be it is the most affordable entry price, given a very strong USP.
And in a very good track record kind of district like Clementi.
Clementi is not cheap.
Clementi
I
is
grew
not
up there, so Clementi is not cheap.
HDB and all the resale condos, as I mentioned earlier, the price point, Clementi is really not cheap at all. So if you want to buy into Clementi and buy into something brand new, right? I mean, even the older ones you buy, you also still need to do reno, right? So if you want to buy into something that's brand new with minimal reno, and then you get good quality finishes, then why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we end this, do you have anything else to add?
Yes, find us.
Yeah, okay. Don't remember to find us, but one thing that we forget to mention
launch
is the
date.
date. Yes.
The launch
When
date.
will it be launching?
Okay, so Faber Residence will be launching on 3rd of October.
Same as
Penrith. Right?
same as Penrith.
Yes, overlap a bit with Sky.
So if you want
are able to show you all the projects before you come to a decision, even Zion.
and which is better for you, I think it appeals to different buyers.
Exactly.
Based on the analysis we just did and what you shared on Faber Residence, 3rd of October,
Yes.
all the way till, I think,
All the way till 13,
about
14
that.
October.
We'll flash the dates somewhere around here. And if you want to verify whether you qualify for the loyalty program, do let us know. And once again, my name is Sherwin. And
I'm Jason.
Yeah, and we'll end it off here today.